My experience with Take Back the Night was great. I felt really empowered to be there standing alongside with my friends and survivors of sexual assault and just celebrating a good night of just being us.
I really enjoyed my experience with Take Back the Night because it was one of the first times that I went to an event like that on campus, and I just felt like it was almost a call to action for me because it let me know like what those kind of events look like, and I really enjoyed having the experience with all my friends.
I thought that Take Back the Night was just a really powerful event altogether. I don't know, it really gave a sense of community to the issue of sexual assault because sometimes it can be really overwhelming. But seeing that many people come together in support of survivors and willing to help them move forward was just really amazing.
My favorite memory, more than likely the candlelight vigil. I think that's like a lot of people's favorite, but I enjoyed being able, I think while we were, after the vigil, we walked in silence with our candles, and that was just really powerful moment for me.
My favorite memory of Take Back the Night is when we did the march and we just took the streets. I love direct action, felt really empowered.
I really enjoyed the candlelight vigil. There's something about candlelight vigils that are always just really powerful. They express like, I don't know, sort of the somberness, but also like the uplifting aspect of the event as a whole.
My favorite activity was listening to the speaker. I don't remember what her name was. I'm not good with names, but I do remember that what she said about empowering women and women on campus and the different things that she was calling attention to really spoke to me, and I felt a lot of respect for her, and so yeah, I really enjoyed hearing what she had to say.
My favorite activity to participate in was the candlelight vigil because I thought it brought a really heartwarming moment to the event.
The march itself is really, really wonderful, especially like hearing everybody's voices coming together and the chants that get said. It really makes you feel the power of numbers and having everybody united in one movement.
The history of Take Back the Night started very early. The events actually started over in Europe in the 1960s. Belgium and England held some of the earliest protests about women not feeling safe to walk alone down the street. And in the US, that really translated over into the 70s. In 73, women in a Florida campus protested and demanded the need for a women's center on campus. And in 75, Philadelphia held a Take Back the Night event to protest a rape and murder of a microbiologist who was walking home after work. Those rallies really continued across the country, and the events have grown into hundreds of events on college campuses and communities of all sizes and locations, and they're all unified around the theme of sexual violence and support for victims and survivors. Here at UTC, we usually use the term gender-based violence because we think that encompasses more, looking at the dynamics of gender and how that plays into a lot of this violence. And so at UTC, it started in 2005 when the director currently, Sarah Peters, was hired within the Women's Center and through the Transformation Project grant. And the program was not successful to begin with. They ended up moving it into April, which is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. But since April is often finals and preparing for finals, attendance was still really not great. In 2008, they decided to no longer do the program, and it wasn't brought back to UTC until 2012 when the Women's Center expanded staff and they hired an assistant director. And so from 2012 to 2016, the event really focused on having a keynote speaker come from across the country to talk about whether it was their experiences with gender-based violence, to share their stories, or to empower other individuals about what happens and what the process is, and often the silence that happens to people who go through these experiences. Through that, it had that focus of having the keynote speaker, and there wasn't really an opportunity for students to share stories. There was an anonymous story submission process that you could write down your story and someone could read it, or you could read it. And during the 2016 year for programming, we decided that we wanted to shift it, and we wanted to not only allow students to anonymously submit, but also allow them to be maybe moved by what the speaker's saying or moved by the march and be able to share their story in that moment if they felt that was something they wanted to do. We had a few anonymous submissions, but we really were preparing for a lot of awkward silences. I remember telling the committee that if there's awkward silence, maybe that's good. Maybe that means something, that people can sit in that and feel that discomfort in the silence too. And so we shared the first story submission, and then I stepped away from the microphone and we all sat, and it was almost like a flood of emotions and things happening, of students just continuously standing to share their story and to go up to the microphone. And so it was incredibly powerful to see, and incredibly unexpected for everyone. I remember walking around and just saying I had no idea this is what was going to happen. I'd been told no one shares stories. It was my first year as the assistant director in the Women's Center, and so seeing that happen was amazing. And so through that, and through the outcomes and the comments that we've had about the program, people said it was their favorite. They said it was so powerful, and that they absolutely loved the opportunity that Take Back the Night gave them. And we decided that we wanted to continue that shift and really pull away from the idea of having a keynote speaker and making it about someone else coming into the community and sharing a story, and make it really about the students within this community sharing their story. And based on that, that's how we've gotten to where Take Back the Night is today. And Take Back the Night not only happens in Chattanooga, but it happens in 36 countries and 800 communities, and continuously goes to more and more locations every year. Take Back the Night says that it's reached over 30 million people with the message, and we're hoping that we can continue to reach even more people every year as we continue this program, not only in Chattanooga, not only in Tennessee or the United States, but throughout the world.